Hey everybody.
Some of you might know us,
And some of you might not.
and some of you might know our story.
And some of you might not. But we think it's a story worth telling.
So we're gonna tell you.
So
Enjoy. That was way better.
When people hear our story, I hope it gives them life. I hope that they see God in it and that it encourages them to see God for themselves and to be bold and to take risks and not be afraid of what people think. Figure out who they are in Christ as a result and find the life that's to be found there.
We first met our freshman year of college, and it's kind of funny because two of our good friends had crushes on the other person. So one of my basketball friends had a crush on Jordan. One of his running friends had a crush on me. So we knew all about each other.
We would go on runs together and he would tell me all about BB and what she was like and this and that, and I knew every detail before I ever knew who she was. But my first memory of her is at this slip and slide. They laid him out in the hallway and we threw some soap down and just had a slip and slide into some couch cushions at the end of the hallway. She showed up that night and I remember her running up and down the hallway and having a blast. And I was a little more timid and not sure what to do, but it was a lot of fun.
But we re-met at a wedding of a mutual friend. Sparks flew. We drove down with another friend and we chatted the whole time about our Young Life kid.
She had these girls in Oregon and I had these guys in Oklahoma, and we were just swapping stories. And it's one of those experiences that not a lot of people understand or know what questions to ask or that sort of thing, but we both saw eye to eye on that.
He had mentioned like, oh, I always have a volleyball and a basketball and a football in the back of my car, and I was like, that's cool, I want my future whoever. And I'm like, why am I saying these type of things? We chatted the whole way and we kind of like would make eye contact randomly throughout the night, and then he went back to Tulsa. But that was we call it the re-meet.
I definitely felt something. I'm not sure what it was. It was just really good to connect and to talk.
It kind of sounds like a corny chick flick a little bit, because he was the best man and I was the maid of honor at two of our friends from college weddings. And so this is 3 years after we graduated from college. And we had to do a bunch of stuff, decorate the car together and walk down the aisle together, all those big things. And we were just flirting the whole time. And he was really funny and nice and cute and loved Jesus. And I was like, wow, this is a fun weekend.
I had borrowed my mom's car for the weekend to drive over from Idaho. I was calling her every day after the wedding saying, hey, is it all right if I stay one more day?
Which I didn't know he wasn't originally going to, but he was making up excuses to hang out with me.
My parents were having to share a car while I had their car, and they're like, sure, that's fine. And I ended up staying, I think, 3 extra days after the wedding.
He helped me move presents into our house, and we were flirting it up, and then he stayed in Oregon again, and we stayed up till 3 in the morning talking, and we went and played Frisbee and rode bikes on this golf course, and it was so fun.
Before I came back to Oklahoma, I went back to Idaho after hanging out with her for 3 days, and we texted for a couple of days. And the second day I was back home in Boise, she texted and said, my crazy roommate is trying to convince me to come visit you in Idaho.
And he said, what can I do to push you over the edge? What if I bought your plane ticket? And then it was like that point where it was like, if you're serious, I'm serious. The next day at noon, I was flying out to Boise, Idaho. I remember calling my mom from Idaho, and I left a message on her phone. I said, Mom, you should remember this day. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and I'm seeing about a guy. It was like the best 5 days of our lives. Hikes, fishing. He took me to this outdoor theater thing. We went on bike rides with his parents, and they were really nice, and they didn't think I was crazy, which was a plus.
I think when I left Oregon, she thought, that's it. I'm not going to see this guy again. He lives in Oklahoma, and I live in Oregon, but I told her I'll see you soon.
Probably not. You live in Oklahoma. And he's like, no, I'm going to see you again, BB. I'm going to see you again. It's like, this kid is way too confident.
Any long distance relationships out there? Yes. All right, this song is for the long distance relationship that I'm in. This was written for a girl. She's from Oregon, and she actually grew up at the base of Mount Hood. And so this song is called The Mountain.
long distance very much. And actually the first time she came out to Tulsa was in October of that year, so a few months after we had started dating. And
For our birthday weekend, I came out to Tulsa for the first time.
that night at the melting pot, she said,
I think I'm gonna end up moving to Tulsa and I don't really want to. And he just was like, that doofy grin I was telling you about before, like.
And I remember being like, where did that come from? I've been thinking it all along, like, I wonder what this is gonna look like. We might be in this long distance thing for a couple years, but just a couple months in, she was already talking about it, and I ran with that.
One of the Christmas presents I gave him, it was a little like cutout of Idaho in a ring box, which was weird and fun. And he opened it and it just said Epiphany. And then on the back it said, I'm moving to Tulsa.
She's like, ask me the story, come on. And so I asked her and she said, well, I was doing dishes at Chapters, which is the coffee shop where she worked. And
I call it the Epiphany. And I remember kind of one of those like cool feelings of peace that just comes. And I was like, I'm gonna move to Tulsa. And I was so excited about it. I called my best friend and I was like, I'm gonna move to Tulsa.
she said it just kind of hit me. Like, we don't have to do this long distance stuff anymore, and I'm ready for an adventure, and I think it's the right thing. And I think at that point we both, already knew that this was going somewhere.
There was a couple instances where we both definitely felt it.
I think we knew we loved each other pretty quickly, like right away. I mean, I would have said I love you in Idaho. I mean, I was pretty head over heels right away.
But I didn't want to be the first one to say it.
For me, it was just knowing that this is going to be something that lasts. And so not wanting to rush into anything and just kind of savor each stage along the way. She left a message one time.
And I said, oh crap, I just ran a stop sign. I love you, bye.
And then she didn't actually hang up at that point. She just said, oh wait, erase that. Pretend like I never said that.
Of course, he'll never let me live that down. The next day, he was like, so, you left a message for me last night. I was just embarrassed because I was like, oh, well, you know how that is, like, love ya. I said, love ya. And he's like, no, you said I love you.
I think we both knew long before we ever said anything.
To the sky, to the sky.
Jordan, how do you feel right now?
I could not be happier.
Really?
Yeah, the love of my life moving out to Oklahoma.
That's neat.
Put all our stuff in the van.
We do have a van full of my crap. This is after our first fight.
We were so mad. I was mad. I was so furious.
Can I let you know that I got a Virginia license plate?
I saw that,
You're welcome.
but I already saw 3 of them and I shouldn't tell you.
This is what I have to deal with the whole entire drive. Do you hear the tone?
I wanted you to have a chance to find
Everything you say is making me throw
a
up.
license. I wanted to propose in Oregon because that was, where she grew up and where we had so many memories. And I'd started planning right after we moved her in.
I was going home to Oregon for 5 days for our fall break.
I told her I didn't think I could make it. I had class that weekend, and I really did have class that weekend.
And he surprised me. So he flew out there and met us out there.
And so she would still call and, give me updates on what was going on. And I was, only miles away at a hotel in Portland with my family.
He would be like extra detailed, like, oh, I was driving to Oklahoma City and make up all these things. So I was like, oh, he must really miss me.
The day of the proposal came, and I remember waking up early in the morning, and I've never really thought about what it's like before you ask someone to marry you. That morning, it really sunk in of like, this is the rest of our lives. The 15 minutes before she came, just sitting there, just like looking out at the city, because we were up on a hill a little bit, and thinking about what was about to happen were some of the most nerve-wracking minutes of my life. Not because I thought she would say no. I don't really even know why. It was just the anticipation of asking someone to spend the rest of their life with you.
October. It was October. I want to say like the 17th to the 19th, around there.
I'd planned with her friend Mandy for them to go for a run like they'd always done when she lived out there.
I saw this little black figure like waving from the top of a hill and he's like, "Baby, baby." And my friend Mandy was like, "No, I think he's calling your name." And then I was like, "Is that Jordan?" And I turn and she's filming me.
I remember thinking, oh gosh, she's gonna know right away.
And my heart starts beating really fast and I was all excited. But then the other side of me is like, he might just be visiting. Maybe he's not proposing.
She's like, what is going on? You're sick, you're in Oklahoma. Is that Jordan? And she started running up the hill.
And he was stumbling all over his words.
I was shaking.
And like, you know how much you know, and I just was going, yeah, I know what you mean. And then he got down on his knee. And
she was quick to say yes and jump up and down and, you know, be her incredible self.
Little did I know his brother was hiding in the bushes taking pictures of us. And so we went back to my brother's house and both of our families were there. And so we got to share it with both of them and it was the first time that our families had met. And it was awesome. Surprises, he's really good at them.
How did I know that BB was the one?
I knew he was the one because he's everything I've ever liked in the guys that I've dated. He's all the good qualities wrapped up in one person.
And people always told me growing up, you'll just know. And I can't really explain it now, but I just know.
But it's kind of this weird feeling of peace. And God's just like continually affirms in multiple situations and through people.
The only thing that makes our relationship work is our faith. I think that's the core of who we both are.
I think what makes it different is how both of us love God more than each other. And that's what we're grounded in.
I think we make each other better.
We're like on a shared mission in life and it's just really cool to have a companion in that.
I think we're able to love God in ways that we're not able to without each other.
We're made for each other. We're like a perfect fit.
I remember telling people like it's never been so easy to love someone.
The longer we're together, the more obvious it is. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're made for me. My favorite thing. There's so many.
Gosh, Zach, I don't know what to say to that. So we've had a few embarrassing moments since we started dating.
There's a bathroom in my house that has 2 doors, and my mom and I were in the bedroom, and he didn't close the bedroom door, and this is like the first time he was in Oregon, and so he peed in front of my mom and I. And my mom and I just kind of looked at each other like, I guess he's really comfortable here. And you could hear it really well. And like, I looked over and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be, what? And so it was really funny. And later, like we didn't talk about it. And later when we were on a hike, he goes, so I peed in front of you and your mom. We were dying of laughter. And of course we told my brothers and the rest of my family. And so he won't live that one down, probably ever.
Life in Tulsa before BB was difficult. I felt like a lone ranger a lot of the time. When BB moved out here, she's just life-giving. And so it kind of brought more meaning to everything that was happening. And
in the spare time that we do get, we hang out with our community of friends. Like we'll have breakfast every Sunday morning together before we go to church. Hey, birthday girl!
This is weird. Hey.
Hi, everyone. This is Candace. Show me your spirit, people. Woo! Nate, what do you got? Show me your thunder. Where's the thunder? We also hang out with Young Life kids. It's really fun. On Sundays, sometimes we'll take kids to church and play basketball together. And
11, gotta win by 2.
A day at the courts. It takes them 5 hours to get started. The boys always talk crazy trash, so sometimes I have to play and show them how it's done. And
we spend most of it hanging out with Young Life kids.
Studying at OU, doing math. David's being shy. Mr. Ware doing this. Malcolm, how do you feel about right-handed versus left-handed people?
No shit. Okay, people, hold your question. Now, this is how I feel. I feel that BB, Jordan Ware, David Green, Malcolm Lewis are better than this guy.
Whoa, this is a personal attack now. I just said right-handed, left-handed people.
We are smarter than y'all right-handers. Albert Einstein is left-handed. Our president is left-handed. I am left-handed. Who's smarter?
Stay inside and Armando will recover. Alright? Hi. And win it! Good. I think, outside of work, that's kind of our main priority. And we just love spending time with them. Neither of us have a TV, and so we're rarely sitting around. Friday night fireworks, downtown Tulsa. One of the fun things that we did right when BB moved out was go to a Mumford & Sons concert. That was a big festival in this small town in Oklahoma.
The word joyful comes to mind. I just got to spend the entire weekend with my love.
We do this thing called penguin hunting. There's those penguin statues all over Tulsa.
This is the penguin hunt of 2013.
It's gonna be so good.
There are, what,
Penguin.
70-something maybe, we assume, penguins around Tulsa, and we're finding them.
Started on Valentine's Day.
Yes, it did.
So romantic.
Because we're in love.
And
We want to be spreaders of the light because we both love Jesus, and we want that to be the most evident thing in the way we love each other and the way we love people. And so I think if people took one thing from us or our love or our story, it would be just hope, and that there's like something better and something greater out there. It's real. Love is real. And I hope they see it in us.
Stories are a powerful thing. There's a story behind everything. How a picture got on the wall, how a scar got on your face, how we all ended up here today. Sometimes the stories are simple, and sometimes they're heartbreaking. They inspire us, they unite us, they challenge and they teach us. Stories are light. Light is precious in a world so dark. Begin at the beginning. Tell a story with your life. Make some light.